Imagine checking into a modern hospital to deliver your precious newborn baby, only to be told by polite, stone-faced doctors that your child did not survive the birth. Now, imagine that while you are drowning in your immense, unbearable grief, those very same doctors are secretly carrying out an unthinkable, grotesque crime under the direct orders of the government. For nearly 40 years, a chilling rumor circulated among heartbroken mothers in the United States and the United Kingdom. A rumor that sounded so deeply psychotic, so completely unhinged, that the general public dismissed it as nothing more than a paranoid, hysterical urban legend. These grieving mothers claimed that when they begged to see or dress their deceased babies for their final funerals, the hospital staff aggressively prohibited them, offering bizarre and suspicious excuses to keep the tiny caskets permanently sealed. In the late 1990s, the world was shaken to its absolute core when a massive cache of highly classified government documents was officially unlocked, revealing that this urban legend was a terrifying, absolute reality. In 1953, at the absolute height of the treacherous Cold War, the United States Atomic Energy Commission, alongside top military scientists, launched a highly classified global intelligence operation, codenamed Project Sunshine. To fully understand the terrifying depths of Project Sunshine, we must understand the severe existential panic that gripped global superpowers during the emergence of the nuclear arms race. As the United States, Great Britain, and the Soviet Union aggressively detonated massive hydrogen and atomic bombs across the globe, a highly toxic, invisible killer began to settle silently into the Earth's atmosphere. Scientists quickly discovered that these cataclysmic atomic explosions released an incredibly unstable, highly radioactive isotope known to the scientific community as strontium-90. Strontium-90 is a uniquely terrifying material because the human body biochemically mistakes it for natural calcium, meaning that if it is inhaled or consumed through contaminated milk and soil, it bonds directly and permanently into the deep cellular structure of human bones. Once inside the skeleton, this trapped radioactive material continuously emits destructive radiation, causing aggressive, fatal bone cancers and leukemia within a matter of years. The government desperately needed to know exactly how much of this invisible radioactive poison had already accumulated inside the global human population. But they faced a massive, seemingly insurmountable scientific obstacle. They realized that adult bones, which were already fully formed, did not absorb the newer atmospheric radioactive materials effectively enough to provide accurate data. To get the highly precise measurements they required, the scientists concluded they needed to analyze tissues and skeletons that were actively developing and absorbing calcium at a rapid rate. They explicitly needed the bones of infants, toddlers, and young children. In January of 1955, a highly renowned nuclear scientist and future Nobel Prize winner named Dr. Willard Libby stood before a secret, high-level meeting of the Atomic Energy Commission and delivered a speech that would later horrify the entire civilized world. Dr. Libby openly lamented that there was a catastrophic lack of human samples, aggressively stating to the assembly, and I quote, "I don't know how to get them, but I do say that it is a matter of prime importance to get them, and particularly in the young age group. So human samples are often of prime importance, and if anybody knows how to do a good job of body snatching, they will really be serving their country." Following this chilling call to action, the United States government hired an expensive elite law firm to thoroughly investigate the legal loopholes surrounding the ancient law of body snatching, only to discover that doing so legally was almost completely impossible. Refusing to let human rights laws stall their Cold War research, the directors of Project Sunshine initiated a massive, highly calculated network of international deception and medical piracy. They established highly secretive pipelines with complicit, compromised doctors, pathologists, and coroners across the United States, Great Britain, Australia, Canada, South America, and even Hong Kong. Whenever a baby was tragically stillborn or a young child passed away from a sudden illness in these participating hospitals, the corrupt medical staff would covertly operate on the tiny cadavers without ever requesting the knowledge, permission, or consent of the devastated, unsuspecting parents. In one horrifying documented case in the United Kingdom, a mother named Jean Pritchard was explicitly forbidden by her doctors from dressing her deceased infant daughter for her funeral, only to discover decades later that scientists had secretly amputated her baby's legs to be packed in dry ice and shipped to nuclear laboratories. The stolen, innocent remains were assigned cold, mechanical alphanumeric code names such as Baby B1102 or Baby B595, completely stripping these lost children of their human identity as they were packed into unmarked boxes. Over the course of 15 years, a staggering total of over 6,000 innocent babies' bodies were successfully stolen, cataloged, and incinerated in high-temperature nuclear crucibles across laboratories in Cambridge and Chicago to extract and measure the precise micrograms of radioactive strontium-90. When an official investigation was finally launched by the American government under President Bill Clinton, the resulting report was absolutely scathing, confirming that researchers had used elaborate cover stories and deep medical deception to violate human rights on a global scale. Project Sunshine proved to the world that sometimes the most terrifying, unthinkable monsters aren't hiding in the shadows of folklore, but are wearing pristine white lab coats and carrying high-level government security clearances. After hearing about the horrors of Project Sunshine, do you think governments are still conducting secret experiments on the public today under the guise of national security? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.